Bradford City continue their 2025-26 League One campaign with an away clash against Gary Caldwell's Wigan Athletic, and in today's video you're going to find out how both teams have gotten so far this season and what my starting 11 would be for this game if I was Graham Alexander. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, then make sure to like, comment and subscribe. But my team Bradford City, we currently sit 4th in the League One table. After 36 matches, we've got 19 wins, 7 draws and 10 defeats, where we've scored 47 goals and also conceded 39. That leaves us on a positive 8 goal difference and 64 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a win, a loss, a win and a loss. In terms of those last couple of matches then, on Wednesday we had a fantastic 2-0 win away at Port Vale. Total domination really from start to finish by Bradford City. Probably our best away performance of the season, and prior to this game we'd obviously only won once away from home in the calendar year of 2026. So nice to get that burden off our back, and not just a scrappy 1-0 win like what it was in the reverse fixture, a completely dominant performance where we could have won by 5, 6, maybe even 7. We also had a 2-1 win at home to Leighton Orient. Anthony Sarsfield scoring a couple of goals in this one. Obviously Aidan Baldwin was sent off for serious foul play in this game. He'll be serving the second of his 3-game ban, obviously will remain to be a big miss for Bradford City, but Sarsfield again proving his importance, and despite an incredibly incompetent referee, always nice to get 3 points, and obviously we had the best home team in League One. We also had a 2-1 defeat away at Reading. Very good 89 minutes, and then we just sat back at that point, and unfortunately it did cost us in the end. A couple of very disappointing goals from our point of view to concede, and if there's a way to lose the game, that's certainly the way to do it. 90th minute and 97th minute was certainly not fun when you had a 4.5-hour journey all the way back over to Bradford. We also had a 1-0 win at home to Rotherham United. Matt Pennington scoring the only goal of the game. I get a little bit frustrating not to score more goals, considering that Rotherham were the worst away side in League One coming into this fixture, but to be fair, they had some half-decent threats on the day, and again, winning at home is what you need to do if you do want to be a side that wins promotion. And we also had a 3-1 defeat away at AFC Wimbledon. This game feels like a long time ago now, and it was an absolutely shocking performance, shocking result. We made loads of changes for this game because obviously we were playing Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. Hopefully we're not going to do that for this game, and we just go as strong as possible, because it's clear to see that there are only really 12 or 13 players that are good enough to be starting consistently for Bradford City. Then we've got a lot of other players in our side who are just good stopgaps to bring on for 15 minutes maybe to help you see a game out, but we lack quality. And obviously Wimbledon since this have actually been on a pretty decent run, especially at home, so frustrating result though nonetheless. Compared though to Wigan Athletic, who currently sit 20th in the League One table. After 35 matches, they've got 9 wins, 11 draws and 15 defeats. Well, they've scored 36 goals and also conceded 50. That leaves them on a minus 14 goal difference and 38 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a loss, a draw, a win, a loss and a win. So not awful form for them prior to their game in midweek, where they were absolutely annihilated at home to Plymouth Argyle, and that is obviously where we do start things out. As you can see here, a couple of really poor pieces of goalkeeping from Sam Tickle in this match. Certainly did not cover himself in glory whatsoever, and Plymouth have proved to be a decent side over the last couple of weeks and months, and despite Wigan dominating possession, created very little in that game. They also had a 1-1 draw away at Blackpool, big at relegation at 6 points, and despite going 1-0 down quite early on in the game, they did manage to recover a point through former Carlisle man Owen Moxon. But again, you look at the stats for this game, and Wigan really have struggled to create some opportunities against the Blackpool side that have proved to be very frail so far this campaign. They also had a fantastic 1-0 win at home to Huddersfield Town. Always love it when another club gets 3 points over them lot. Jensen Weir scored the only goal of the game just after the hour mark with a shot from around the edge of the penalty area. And this proves that Wigan on their day certainly can beat any side at this level, but again haven't particularly created loads. They very rarely get more than 4 or 5 shots on target, certainly not in their last couple of matches. They also had a 4-2 defeat away at Stockport County, and this is a reminder that just because Wigan aren't a particularly great side, they have still got Joe Taylor at the top end of the pitch, and he could score out of nothing. He's a very, very good finisher for this level, and obviously it took a couple of late goals really from Stockport to get over the line. And again, Wigan's discipline this season has been absolutely shocking. They obviously got 2 red cards against Bradford City in the reverse fixture where we scored a 90th minute winner on that day. And finally, they had a 1-0 win at home to Luton Town. Again, Joe Taylor scoring the only goal of the game against his former side. So you take Taylor out of the game and they don't really have much of a goal threat, but it's not just as easy as saying, yeah, take Taylor out of the game, because he's a very good player. Before we do go any further though with today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 150 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match. What would your starting 11 be? Would you make any changes from Wednesday's win against Port Vale? Now we're just going to go straight into my team. You can see it on screen there. Just the one change in my personal opinion, and that is in the striker department, where I have brought in Will Swan for Ethan Wheatley. So we'll start our discussion points there. I don't think this is necessarily based on performance for Ethan Wheatley, but when he signed for Bradford City, obviously hadn't played for around a month or so through injury, and he's now played a lot of football recently. He's been coming on off the bench in his first couple of appearances. He's now started Bradford City's last 3 matches, and I think to play him Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, with how intense the pressing role is in that striker position, and again we have got more games coming up over the next couple of weeks when the quality drop-off is not as significant as what it is some other positions, then I do think you are able to bring in somebody like a Will Swan, who obviously did miss a glorious chance, I think, just after Bradford City had made it 2-0. Great cross in from Tyreek Wright, and Swan really should be hitting the back of the net with that, but maybe with I think it might have been Humphreys potentially, or somebody jumping just in front of him, potentially did put him off a little bit. But if Wheatley does start and we go unchanged, I have no complaints with that. Delighted for Sam Walker to keep yet another clean sheet on Wednesday. You look at the back 3, Pennington was solid, Tilt was absolutely outstanding, gave Andre Gray absolutely nothing and proved that he can go 1v1. Obviously, you would expect Wigan to play Christian Sadie. If anyone is going to be able to deal with Christian Sadie, he's going to be Curtis Tilt. He is probably the scariest man in football. And obviously, Ibu Torre completing the back 3, given that, again, Aidan Baldwin is going to be missing this game through suspension. You could maybe argue Joe Wright to go in there, but I think Torre's passing ability against this Wigan side will certainly do us a bit more justice. And again, if they're going to use the pace of Joe Taylor or of Dara Costello in them channel balls, then Torre should be able to deal with that. You look at the midfield 4, Josh Nerthel started out a bit slow against Port Vale, but grew into the game and really did impress me. I was also impressed by Harrison Ashby's 15 minutes on off the bench on Tuesday. I thought defensively he did read the game very well, so he may be pushing for a start, but Nerthel did incredibly well on Tuesday. Power and Metcalf practically picked themselves. It wasn't a particularly great viewing for their shooting on Wednesday. A lot of block shots or some that going well off target in the end. Obviously, Max Power still waiting for his first Bradford City goal. He might get it in this one against his former side, and Jensen Metcalf has just massively improved from where he was at the start of the season. I feel like we're not talking about Metcalf and how good he is at this moment in time because he's just raised the level now, and he's consistently playing at such a good level that he doesn't actually stand out as what he was doing a month or two ago, where he was gradually getting better. He's now just at an incredibly high level for League One level, and I think the only way that he can get better is by starting to play Championship football, and hopefully that is with Bradford City. Tyreek Wright completes at my midfield 4. I thought he was absolutely fantastic on Wednesday. Delighted for him to get yet another goal, and like we previously did just mention there, certainly should have had an assist as well, but he was absolutely outstanding. It's crazy to see what confidence can do to a player. It looks like we've got the Tyreek Wright back that we had in his first loan spell. I've not been a big fan of Tyreek Wright since he's really returned to the football club in either his second loan spell or last season when he was here permanently with the football club, but this season massively improved in every department, massively developed, and delighted that he's now playing his best football once again. And obviously Sarswick and Poynton, they practically do pick themselves. We don't really have much other quality to play in there. Poynton with another goal and assist in his most recent game against Port Vale on Wednesday, and Sars, had one opportunity or two, but not really loads to report. But again, we know about the quality that Sars does bring, and it was good that as soon as he went 2-0 up, we brought Sarswick off and were able to rest him, so he is able to start this game against Wigan. Again, we might only get 60-70 minutes out of Sarswick, but I'd rather that and potentially be ahead, or hopefully be ahead, and you're able to bring him off than be 3-0 down and looking at giving him the last 20 minutes best to try and save the game. On the bench for me, I would have Joe Hilton, Harrison Ashby, Joe Wright, Lee Evans, George Lapsley, Stephen Humphreys, and also Ethan Wheatley. The players currently unavailable are Aidan Baldwin, who serves a second of his 3-game ban, Nick Powell, and also Caden Jackson. So the players who miss out then through selection would be Kieran Kelly, Louis Sibley, Joe White, and also Paul Mullin. I think Mullin, he's not had a particularly great time so far in a Bradford City shirt, and when you look at the options on off the bench, I don't think he's as good as a striker as Ethan Wheatley in my opinion, or certainly not based on the last couple of performances. But like I say, if Wheatley does start, I have absolutely no complaints with that whatsoever. I'm going to leave it there though for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 150 likes as I said at the start of today's video, and don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match. What would your starting 11 be as well? Would you make any changes from Wednesday's win against Port Vale? Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.